and welcome to Mrs. P's Prose Storytime. I'm Mrs. Pahlavan, your hostess, and today we will be reading a wonderful story entitled Jaqueline and the Beanstalk. Let's get started. Once upon a time, there lived a girl named Jaqueline. She lived with her stepfather in a little cottage. He was quite cruel and had little patience for Jaqueline. Jaqueline was kind-hearted and good, but she was always getting herself into trouble. One day, Jaqueline's stepfather ordered her to sell her cow Moo. "But I love Moo," Jaqueline cried. "We need money," her stepfather said. "Moo is just another mouth to feed." Jaqueline had no choice. At the market, Jaqueline saw a poor mother with 2 children. She felt sad for them. Instead of selling the cow, Jaqueline gave Moo to the family. The mother was so grateful, she gave Jaqueline 2 beans. "It's all we have," said the mother. "Please take them." Jaqueline accepted the gift and returned home. "Beans!" Jaqueline's stepfather yelled. He was very angry. "You sold our cow for 2 miserable beans!" He tossed the beans out the window. "Fool!" stepfather grumbled. "Go to your room." Jaqueline ran to her room with tears streaming down her face. The next morning, when Jaqueline awoke, her bedroom was dark. Jaqueline peeked outside looking for the sun. Instead, she saw an enormous beanstalk. It had sprung up from where her stepfather had flung the beans. Her stepfather burst into the room. "What have you done now?" he yelled. "Get rid of that giant beanstalk immediately." In the garden, Jaqueline gazed up at the enormous plant that stretched into the sky. "Get to work," her stepfather yelled. "I don't know what's up there," Jaqueline thought, "but it has to be better than what's down here." Jaqueline began to climb the beanstalk. At the top, Jaqueline discovered a beautiful land. Giant apple trees with heavy giant fruit, enormous stalks of corn, rows of colossal cucumbers, and fields of jumbo sunflowers lined the road. Jaqueline followed the road until she arrived at a massive castle. Suddenly, the castle door burst open. Jaqueline stared up into the face of a giant. "Lunch!" the giant boomed. "Lunch!" "I am going to be eaten by a giant," Jaqueline thought. She was terrified. But before she could run away, the giant snatched her up with his hulking hand. In the castle, the giant set Jaqueline down on top of the huge kitchen table. "My, you're a tiny one," he said. "I hope you can stay a while. You need fattening up." Jaqueline trembled. She was in real trouble now. The giant scooped up a cat from the windowsill. "See, kitty? We will have this nice little girl for lunch today," he said. That was all Jaqueline needed to hear. "Sorry, giant, but you can't eat me." She leaped off the table. The giant plucked her out of the air. He chuckled as Jaqueline tried to free herself. Soon, Jaqueline was too tired to struggle anymore. The giant gently set the girl back into the table. "Why do you think I am going to eat you?" the giant asked. "You told the cat that you are having a little girl for lunch," Jaqueline sobbed. The giant laughed so hard the wall shook. "I meant have you for lunch as a guest," he laughed, "not eat you for lunch." "Silly girl, people taste terrible," said the giant. "Now sit right there and let me get everything ready." The giant got to work in the kitchen. Soon the entire castle was filled with the scent of delicious food. Jaqueline's stomach rumbled. Before long, the giant had prepared a feast. By the end of the meal, Jaqueline was too full to walk. "See," said the giant with a grin, "stuffed." Jaqueline laughed. Just then, a tiny voice came from the floor. "Jaqueline!" the voice yelled. "Jaqueline!" The giant reached down and picked up a little man by his jacket collar. The terrified man kicked as he tried to free himself. "Do you know this intruder?" the giant asked. Jaqueline glared at the man. "He is my stepfather. I climbed the beanstalk because I wanted to run away from home, away from him." "This man is not kind to you?" the giant asked Jaqueline. "He is not," Jaqueline said. "Well then, he is not welcome at my table," the giant said. "I think I know what to do with him. Here, kitty kitty." The giant set the man in front of the cat. The Cat was delighted to have a new toy. Jaqueline could not control her laughter. "Now," the giant said, "I get very lonely in this castle. How would you like to live here with me? We can be best friends and have wonderful feasts every day." "I would like that very much," Jaqueline said. "May I invite a few friends for lunch?" "Any time," said the giant. The next day, Jaqueline returned to the market. She found the family she had given Moo to. She told them all about the giant and the magical land she had discovered in the clouds. "You'll never be hungry again," she told them. The family happily joined Jaqueline and the giant for lunch. They came the day after that, and the day after that too. Each day they brought new people. The giant was pleased to have new friends to cook for, and Jaqueline was able to keep from getting herself into too much trouble. The end. Wasn't that a fun story? Thank you for joining me today on Mrs. P's Prose, and I hope you'll join me again next time when we have another fabulous story to read to everyone from my fantastic library. We'll see you then. Until then, take care. But also, don't forget to wash your hands, and if you have not been vaccinated, please wear a mask. So long.